What's good, fam? It's your boy Kickstigasm. Just wanted to stop by and do a quick little video about how I got into collecting shoes, or how I became a sneakerhead, basically. So, we can start all the way back to the beginning when I was first born, and I was born with a pair of Jordans. No, not really. What happened was, just in middle school, I specifically remember, just really wanting style and wanting shoes, basketball shoes in particular, Before then, it was just whatever my parents could afford, whatever they would buy me, no name brand, nothing like that. So I remember the very first pair of shoes that I really ever wanted was the Reebok Shaqnosis. I was a huge Shaq fan, and I just loved those. And I begged my parents to get them, and they finally were able to get those for me. And I rocked those for a good year, just wore them every single day. There was no, here's a bunch of sneakers, what sneaker do I pick for the day? No, it was you rock that pair until next school year. Then you were lucky enough to get another pair. So then the year after that, I think that was like maybe my 8th grade, middle school, when I finally got those. So after that, my passion for sneakers really started, but I could never afford them. My parents couldn't afford them, so I'd get my one pair every year. I'd always get something decent. Never the Jordans, they were always too much, Never even Nike, really, they were too much. So it was always like Reebok, Adidas, those kind of things. So I specifically remember that year in 8th grade, the Bred 11s came out, and my homie Luke Himes, check him out on YouTube and Instagram, he's got great page, great collection. He had the Bred 11s, and we were in math class, and I remember just staring at him creepily, to the point where I wanted to hide the fact that I was looking at his shoes because I didn't want to seem like a weirdo. So I would put my head down and act like I was sleeping in class, because that's all I ever did. Kids, don't do that. Focus on your schooling. You need it in the long run. But anyways, so I was acting like I was sleeping, and I would just peek under my arm, and I would just stare at these Bred 11s oh my gosh, what is this shiny material? These are amazing. So, I start talking with Luke, we get into it and everything, and I just love them. I'm absolutely in love. Time goes by, he gets Columbia 11s, he keeps getting them, so, I'm living out my sneaker fantasies through my friends at school. I don't have the money anymore, so let's skip ahead probably, I don't know, 10 years or so. So, we'll go all the way to 2013. So, I'm buying some shoes, I'm an adult, I've got a house, I've got a car, I got a wife, I got a son, I'm financially well off, not rich or anything, but I'm doing fine. So I remember I still always loved shoes, and I would still always get 1 or 2 pairs a year, even as an adult, and I just never really got into collecting. But my homie Luke Himes, again, he was really big into it. He still had a lot of his kicks back from middle school and high school, so he had a really good collection. He was doing all these videos on YouTube and making all these posts on Instagram, and I thought it was really cool, but I was just like, oh wow, that's crazy. So basically, oh, there's my phone, go Buckeyes. My bad, I should have silenced that before I started doing a video. I don't know who that is, so sorry, put you on mute. So anyways, back to that before we were interrupted by the Buckeyes theme. So yeah, I checked his stuff out, I really liked it. He was telling me about how this pair of Jordan 11s was coming out on Christmas of 2013. The Gamma 11s. So I thought, that's awesome. I really, really always love those. I love an all-black shoe with a darker sole, so you're not going to see the dirt, because back then I didn't have that many pairs of shoes, and if I bought these, I really wanted them to stay nice. So also he was telling me that you could resell these shoes, and that people were paying tons of money for shoes. I'm like, what? Are you serious? I can pay $180, $200 for these, and people will pay like $300? I'm like, no way. No way. So that morning I was at work, and I just thought, what the heck? These release. I already followed Nike on Twitter. I was already watching all these different shoes. Just never really a buyer. So I said, screw it, I'm gonna try to get these. You know, I want to see them. I want to get them in person. And if my buddy Luke's right, you know, if I don't end up keeping them, I can always sell them. So I get online, Nike.com. I get through. I get them in my cart. I'm so excited. I check out. I call Luke. He's like, oh my gosh, dude, your first try and you get the Gamma 11s, the hottest release of the year, and that's just crazy. What's the coincidence? So I'm like, well, you know, I'm going to check them out, but that's a little bit too much money for me to be spending. So let me see, what was the retail on these? These were $185 back then. So retail was $185 on these. I was like, that's a little too much, you know. I'm probably going to end up selling them. I can't pass up making $100+, you know, just for holding on to a pair of shoes. So I put the feelers out there, you know, let a few people know I was going to sell them, da-da-da. And a couple things here and there. This one guy was about to get them, and he kind of kept just BSing me. And I thought, do I really want to deal with this? And then the more and more I kept looking at these shoes, I just thought, wow, this is an amazing pair of shoes. I remembered looking at Luke's Bred 11s back in math class all those years ago and thinking about how I always wanted my own pair. So I decided to keep them. I called the one guy, I said, hey, you've been BSing too long. Sorry, I don't have them for sale anymore. And that was it. You know, I let them sit in the box and I didn't unz them for probably a couple weeks or so, and then I put them on and I took a little picture and I put it on Facebook for my friends to see, and I was like, hey, Gamma 11s, da-da-da. You know, no one cared. No one liked it or anything. So I was cool with that. Kept them, and so a few months go by. I'm slowly starting to buy more and more because once I got the Gamma 11s, I really got the fever. I'm like, man, these are really nice. And I started buying some more, and next thing you know, I specifically remember it was last year in June, and we were in Boston on a family vacation, my wife, my son, and I took these with me. And I was walking through the streets of Boston downtown. I don't know if you've been there or not, but it's like cobblestones and really bumpy. Not the best place to be wearing a pair of shoes, but peep that. I just cleaned, I wore these today too. You can see some pictures I put up on Instagram. But yeah, I just finished cleaning them with a toothbrush, and I mean, they basically look DS still. You know, and that was, I've probably worn these in the past year and a couple months 30 times or so. Just a great durable shoe. My favorite pair of kicks that I have, and the pair of kicks that got me started with Kickstagasm and got me started on Instagram. You know, I was sitting there in Boston and I had just taken a picture of these hanging out over the pier there over the ocean, and I thought it was really cool. And Luke had always told me, you know, you should go to Instagram, it's a lot better. So I had started migrating some of my kick pics over to Instagram, and I had started a personal page, Doc North 108. You can follow me there personally if you want. I don't really get on there as much anymore because I'm so busy with Kickstagasm, but I thought, let me come up with something. So as the day went by, we were on a trolley ride going through Boston, and I remember specifically thinking about how I just really liked, you know, shoegasm. I thought that was a cool, funny phrase, and I liked Kickstagram a lot. That was one of my favorite pages to visit. So I kind of just combined those together, and that's where Kickstagasm was born. I created the Instagram page. I put up, I think, like 10 photos I had taken out in Boston of the few pairs of shoes that I had brought with me, and then a couple other photos that I had already had on Facebook, and put a little Kickstagasm tag out there. And sure enough, it's been like 8 months later, you know, and over 4,000 followers. I really appreciate everyone following, and there's a lot more to come. You know, I'm just getting started with the YouTube thing. Completely addicted now. I am a sneakerhead, if you want to call me that, whatever, but it's been a crazy year and a couple months since I bought these Gamma 11s, and now, you know, 70 some pairs later, I'm pretty crazy with it. I need to chill out. I'm going to cut back on the purchasing a little bit this year since I've built up my collection, but I'll still have fresh content for you guys. We can do some more sneaker stories of old kicks that I have, how I picked them up, what I've been through with them. If you want to hear that kind of stuff, let me know in the comments below. And as always, you know, appreciate you watching, liking, subscribing, sharing, all that good stuff. Check me out on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram at Kickstagasm. Peace out from Kickstagasm. Have a good one.